So I'm not going to do any changes. I still like what our main sideboard is. I might experiment around later and drop like a Veil and a Goyf. Because like our graveyard interaction is none. Instead, we could be running something like Cage. Man, we are getting washed out. Oh well. Okay. Let's hop into a Modern League. Let's see how we do. Hopefully. Can get that 3-2, maybe a 4-1, possibly a 5-0. Here we go. Onwards to match number 1. Okay, we didn't win the die roll. They wanted to play. Hand has turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Spellskite with Glistener Elf. A Kahira deck. I mean, we keep this just because it's Breeding Pool Hierarch into Spellskite. And then a Glistener Elf, which we then have a Distortion Strike, Vines, and Blossoming Defense. It's a bit on the risky side from the fact that it's a 1-lander. But it's got the mana to operate. They crack their Flooded Strand. Shocks and a Hollowed Fountain for an opt. Okay. They like the card that they saw with the opt, so they drew it. Not great for us there. Spellskite resolves, which is good. We sadly miss our second land drop. And they fetch and shock again. They path the Spellskite. Fine by us. And then they opt. Okay. So we now have to worry about counter magic. See if this Glistener Elf gets to resolve. It do, so do that, and then pass the turn. We've got plenty of vines here. Mystic Sanctuary, put Path back on top. Yep. It's a fairy. Really don't want them bouncing or Glistener Elf. And so if we do this, they'd have to bounce our Hierarch. Back there. They'll get the bounce. And they can't target our Glistener Elf until upkeep. But we can only do sorcery speed. So while we have the protection spell, Teferi stops us from being able to do anything. I should have gotten a Dryad Arbor there. That was a stupid mistake on my part. And forgot about the lines of text that Teferi has on it. They're at 14, however. There's a Misty. They have 2 cards in hand at this point. Four. So assuming they have enough for 1 counter spell, 10. So green. We don't have enough to do everything in our hand right now. Get that Teferi out of here. Teferi goes away. We're on the hope they don't have second Teferi in hand. Okay, we draw a scale up. Pretty good one there. Scale it up. Might have old Krosa. Oh baby, we're getting to swing in. Kill you with a hierarch? Who needs to win through Infect? Okay, well, the disputes come in. The veils come in. Spellskite comes in. Shave on some growths. Shave on a scale up. Shave on a vines. Shave on distortion strikes. I don't really play mini creatures. Like their main creatures, Uro. If Uro's sticking on the battlefield, we're losing the game. So Also, we didn't see any green, so this could be like a blue-white miracles list. In which case, then they really don't have any wing or any creatures. Hand's got a Hierarch and a Spellskite and a Blighted Agent. They went down to 5. What? Okay. I was about to be concerned for my opponent. Dindlehaven Hierarch passed the turn. They crack this polluted delta. Gets themselves. Yep. So it's probably just blue-white. I've yet to see any green from them. They shock in. Spellskite, so they can't logic not for 1. They path the Spellskite, sure. Get this force into play. I mean, if Spellskite's eating a path, Spellskite's doing his job. 3 mana to Teferi. What, bounce Hierarch? And go with this, so that way if they try to remove, we could fetch. Well, we can't because Teferi. Mystic puts Path back on top. We could have what? Counter draw? Or Archmage draw 2 and then removal? Okay. So let's think about this. If we go Blossoming Defense, the Blighted Agent, give Dryad Arbor +1/+2. Might of Old. I mean, we go for this Blossoming, see if it sticks, right? Like, we're stuck at sorcery speed anyway. Show me that you have Cryptic in hand. No. Tap your team, draw a card. Play out second hierarchy because we don't have the path anymore, so they can path our blighted agent. Terminus, and then they terminus us. Fun. Yep. Again, opponent needs a win con at this point. There's a fun uncastable. Card's actually real bad when they have Teferi anyway. Cracks Misty, goes and gets Sanctuary, puts Cryptic back on top. Has us soft locked. From the aspect of we can try to overload. Put Kahira into hand, okay. Three mana Kahira. Spellski. Because again, if you're pathing my Spellskite, which is what they do, so that way this Kahira can start beating our face and they have a clog. Fun. That's an actually very interesting card to be running. We go down to 15. We're not gonna draw anything apparently. Okay, they crack it. We get a Hallowed Fountain. Okay. Well, there's a Misty, so we can finally get blue. So it's definitely just blue-white control, and they have no real win condition other than this Kahira. From the looks of it. I'm sure that they're also just holding their stuff as much as they can. I know they have Cryptic and Path in hand. We go to 5. Fun. We go to 2. It's real nice that we can't do anything because to fairy. Okay. So again, we know it's just a Teferi deck. Like, we could bring in the Goyce if we really wanted to. It's not really the matchup we're looking to bring Goyce in. Yes, I want to play first. We'll risk it. If we hit 1 land, we win on turn 2. Assuming they don't have the turn 1 path. It went down to 5. Come on, land off the top. Even without a land on the top, I'm still just getting in with scale ups pretty good on turn 2. Show me your path. There we go. Sometimes you just turn 2 people. And that's how the Blue-White Control League goes, is just, can we be fast enough? All right, here we are for match 2. Okay. Don't recognize the name. So hand's got pump and lands, no threat, so it's a mulligan. We've got threats, but we don't have colors to play said threats. So we go down to 5. I mean, what, we're on the draw, so we'd have 2 chances at it? 19 and 53, 19 and 52. Well, we'll keep this. We'll bottom Groundswell and Defense, I guess. We're still in the same boat of we can't play Jack Diddley Squat with our mana base. But as soon as we get a colored mana source, we're in the clear. Blood Crypt. Shocks it in, then what? Thoughtseize? Or Inquisition? Vile, so goblins. Okay, so we want our dismembers. Our spell pierces don't do jack in this matchup. Cavern of Souls name's Goblin. Yep. Okay. Here's a confirmation that this is indeed a Goblin's match. Violin. Prospector? Yep. Red Black Munitions Expert. Interesting. We going for a Snoop here? Or an Uncounterable Matron? Could be instead Bogart. Okay, so it's a Snoop. We've got a turn to set up here. Let's go ahead and get this breeding pool down. Hierarch pass turn. So this vial goes up, and then they have instant speed Snoop. No land's pretty good for us here. Because if they don't play a land, then we have Spellskite, Glistener Elf. Yeah, I'll take one. You win via combo. So one more land and we win. Spell Skite and Glistener. Snoop comes down here off this vial. And I have no idea how Kiki Jiki reads, if Kiki Jiki can target other people's cards. Snoop comes down. We have an islet on the top. So they're getting their land. So there's their islet. In comes Bogart. Reveals, puts on top. And now we get to read what Kiki Jiki says. You control. Has to specify you control. I'm not going to make you click through that. So let's see. We would have not gotten there. Okay. Dismembers in, Spell Pierces out. Spell Skite can come out. I don't know. There's nothing else we really want, though. I guess we could bring in a pair of Gorse if they try to go mid-rangey on us. I'm dropping a Becomaments. No, we keep in the Spell Skite, actually. Because they have things like Munitions Expert. If they're more mid-rangey, less combo-y. It's just the hand that they kept there was extremely in on the combo, and we didn't have any interaction. Hand's very land heavy. And they'll be able to block a Glistener Elf. This, however, we keep. Keep bottom. Bottoming Becomaments doesn't seem bad here. Shock that in, play this Glistener Elf past the turn. Wooded Foothills. Let's trip like scale up off the top here and win. Aw. Sad day, not scale up. So this is a +4. Infect in for 2 doesn't seem bad. No, we can just hold up this Dismember constantly if they try to go for the Snoop kill. Requires them to have 2 Snoops. Swing, Exalted triggers. They crack it. For a Blood Crypt tapped. Huh. Tapped Blood Crypt. If we go in, it's 6. We'll do 1. Screw it, we'll do 2. Make it 6. So that way, even if they have like munitions expert, this ink moth nexus is a 2-turn clock. Okay. They've got 8 cards in hand. Bloodstained Myers here. Second Dismember. Okay. So like the best they could do here is have a munitions expert to stop us from getting in for Infect. I'm assuming they're going to try to munitions expert here with a fetch shock, with the exalted trigger still on the stack. Zero goblins are controlled. And get in for 2 Infect. When it goes up to 8. Anti-Sovel reveals Crater Maker. Blaze Crater Maker. Okay. Use it or lose it. Cool. Run it back. Just requires a few key pieces of interaction there. Like, even if we had pump, we'd be fine. Well, they would have been able to block. But I guess if we had pump instead, we'd be swinging with the ink moth because they don't have flyers. So yeah, that's one of those where it's like it doesn't really matter. I'm changing what we had in hand. It just affects how we would have continued through that game. Assuming they're going to take the play. They do. Hand's got double Dismember, Hierarch, Listener Elf. This is a snap keep. Just because, again, goblins does not do well against removal. Opponent mulligan to 6. Let's see if they go down to 5. They're debating about which 6 they can keep, is my guess. Okay, they put 1 on bottom. Blood Crypt, Shocked in, Vile. Alright. That's a pretty strong start from opponent. And Delaven Hierarch pass turn. Hope to draw like a Blighted Agent off the top here. Just get the absolute nut. Do that. Play this elf, pass the turn. They crack. Okay, they don't go for the shock, meaning they're not going for Munitions Expert right now. We hold back with this Hierarch. We hope that they don't have double. Oh no, we're fine. There's a goblin. Red, black, white. Matron. Yeah. You can reveal. Okay, what are they picking with this matron though? They went with a Snoop. Okay. We would like to get into our turn. Cool, we win. Right? There's nothing that they could... No, there's absolutely nothing that they can do at this point. Swing for 7. Okay, they violin something here. What are they violating in? Snoop? I really don't want this Snoop to go on blocking duty. It's only a 9. So it's not lethal. But opponent cannot let us connect, ever. They have 3 in hand and they're drawing ringleader. There's a Meyer. They go to 16. They can now play their ringleader and try to draw out of this. I'm assuming that's what they do here. Oh. Make some blockers. Sure. Does not seem bad. Play out a land. Guess we can go ahead and just do this, right? Give it +1/+2. Combat, swing for lethal. Obviously just jump, block, and sack. Yep. A distortion strike off the top will do it for us, right? Because we still have that in the deck. Yep. Upticks Vial to 4. Wow. They've got 2 cards in hand. They're going to put in... I mean, we already know that this is ringleader. Ringleader reveals... and Creator Maker and ringleader. That's pretty good. So the question is, do they go for the ringleader? Looks like they are. Gets in for 2. We'll take it this time. We'll go down to 8. Fetch for a breeding pool tapped. We win next turn. So arguably we can just hold back for blockers. Right? We know that they have Ringleader +1 unknown. So we need to be able to block as much damage as possible. I'm assuming this is a no on that vial. Activate vial, put in Ringleader. Right, you're trying to find an out to this Inkmoth Nexus at this point. Ringleader reveals Matron and Snoop. Fun. Land goes down to 15. They have Matron, Snoop, 1 unknown. Fun fact. We're dead. Because they hit 2 goblins. They go Matron. They grab any card. And preferably something like the Echo Dude. And then we just lose to Sling Gang. Close one. Because we have him dead on board. Or they just grab Shalik Mons. That'll do it. Because you swing out, we block here and here. We pump. Oh. Just have these go to my face. Don't try to be cheeky. Just have these go to my face. Okay, we figured it out. Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. I die. We are up 10 minutes on clock. Yep. I die. Doesn't matter what we drew because we would be killing with Inkmoth. Yep. Dang. Close match. Losing to goblins because they got the combo, and then we took too much damage from our own aggressive dismembers. We shouldn't have gone aggressive on the dismember. We should have waited until they had combo or they had like sling gang. We were too quick with our removal. Mainly because our threat wasn't a blighted agent. If our threat was blighted agent instead, well, again, that's a completely different game at that point. We were just a bit too quick. Too quick to pull that trigger. Got punished for it. All right, onwards to match number 3. Okay. Of course he's on mill. Of course Rest is on mill. Is Rest alive right now? Not that I want to snipe him, but scared. Well, there's the orb. He is live. Cool. So, if you want to see a dual matchup, go check him out. He's live. Okay, I should yield to that. Okay, blossoming defense is pretty good there. I mean, we've got to get this down as quick as we can. We need to kill him as soon as possible. OP doesn't have anything. Always yield to the orb. Mills over a trap and a crab. That's pretty good for us. Vista there. Has the push. Push has Vista crack for a second push or a drown. Either or, that's fine. Yeah, that card is online non. Very quick against us. Okay, there goes that. Okay. We mill over 3. Plan for turn. Blue-green agent. Does this even have targets left? It does. Life's irrelevant at this point. We need a pump spell off the top here. We've got 4, we've got 6, we've got 7, we've got 8. One pump spell will do it. Field's pretty good. Field will stop us dead in our tracks. Oh, don't let me untap Russ. That's just a mistake. We mill over 4. Then we get a scale up. Scale it up. Blossoming Defense. Has Snap. Kick Vines before he gets a chance to target anything with Snap. There we go. Okay, it's Mill. Oh. What do we want? Goyfs seem fun. Boarding in Goyfs is totally wrong, but Goyf seems fun. They don't have much removal, but they've got a bit, so keeping Spellskite's fine. We're not really looking to counter their stuff. While it would be useful occasionally, it's not going to be great most of the time. So that and shave on like a scale up. Because Become Immense is going to be online pretty quick. Yeah? Like, this hand is terrible if he has Archive Trap. But we're not going to get a much better hand. Because we can wait to fetch until turn 2. Okay, rest went down to 6. Watery Grave tapped. Okay. Well, this is just awful. Like, we go ahead and we do this. We get Archive trapped. We'll play into the card. No trap? There's the trap. Oh no, he saw the Goyf tech. There is 2 fetchables left off of this Wooded Foothills. That's not good for us. Looks like we'll be getting there though. Has drown in the lock. That's fine. Counter my Goif. And fields the breeding pool. Floated green. Yep. Oh no. Okay. We still have outs. Not many. But we still have outs. Right? There's still a Singleton Waterlogged Grove. As soon as that card gets milled over, we concede because we're not. Crab. Plus land. Fun. Okay. We're sitting at one vegetable left in this deck, which is awful for us. Goes over 3 more. None of our fetchables. Glimpse tries to mill us 10. What we hit there? Okay, didn't hit any of the cards that are our outs. Waterlogged Grove. Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. And we'll go ahead and concede there because we're definitely going to hit our outs. Because that's 10, that's 3. They just need to hit a land drop at that point. Yeah, the problem with this deck versus mill is just if they get any of your fetchables. Pop, 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 pop. Goif gets big quick. Screw it. It's rest. It'll be nice. The problem with these double Pendlehaven hands. Pendlehaven pass turn. It's a crab. Oif. Crab mills us 3. Oif becomes a 2/3. Polluted Delta. Gets Watery Grave. Shocks it in. Mills has 3 more. And has a drown in the lock. Sounds good. Crab gets in, sends that message. Keep the Pendlehaven. Six cards in hand. I'm assuming that crab's not attacking. Yep. Let's see what happens here. Okay. That's not bad for us. If we go land, scale up here. Let's see if Mr. Crab wants to come a blocking. I'm assuming Crab does want to block. Yeah. And has push. Smart by Russ there to make us use push, but at the same time, we were kind of sort of having to. Glimpse, we mill over 10. Okay, we can still grab a breeding pool with this fetch land. Russ goes a fetching. Gets a watery grave, shocks it in. As push. Get this breeding pool so we have access to blue. So arguably Veil of Summer's a card we should have brought in. Let's draw ourselves a card here. Okay. 3 cards left. Let's play out a second listener and go to combat. Mill's probably starting to run out of gas at this point. You have to hope. Okay, there's the visions. So there's the redraw. So scratch what I was talking about running out of gas. Meanwhile, hand is +6. If we hit a land drop. Really? Scale up, make it a big boy. And goes fetching. Blue 1. Mystical Dispute. Okay. No, I'm not going to pay 3. Instead, we're going to give 1+1+2 and get in for 3. There's a Visions. Not good for us. Field. Are both of our forests in there? Okay. We still have outs. Name's Elf. Blighted Agent is a rogue. Goyf is a Lurgoyf. Has second visions to draw them more gas. Well, there's the exact threat we did not want. It's fine though, because if he goes for the field, we can animate and then Blossoming Defense, which feels so bad. And oh no! Oh no! So like, we can Blossoming Defense this one and force the second one on the stack. But that doesn't buy us anything. It buys him getting a pump spell out of our hand. Now he fields our breeding pool to cut us off of blue, so we can't ever cast Blighted Agent. Mills us 10. At second Goyf, we have Goyf as an out and 2 Blighted Agents as an out. 18 cards. No, yeah, if you want to go watch him win, just go tune into Russ's stream. Oh, there's Plague Engineer. Yeah. Wow, your name did the whole dark green into a light green. Okay. 17 cards left in deck. One more mill spell and we basically have this lost. Because I am Metamorphosis. Yep, you and Zale both, apparently. How's your night been, Fluffy? Just been Minecrafting away? Thanks for helping me with that wood earlier, by the way. Okay, there's milling us 10. Does he have another mill spell? There goes our Goyf. We still have a Blighted Agent. They went and installed enemy stuff. Sounds about right. Yeah, getting close is always how that'll work. Face down card exiled. If he fields us off of blue here, we can see it on the spot, but he's being nice. Sadly, these say you control, else I'd be pumping his creature. What did Intermeat need installed? Ah, Ice Road Portal. Makes sense. Well, that's not the out that we needed. Go ahead and gave him the GGs and told him, may Mill continue its path. Puts us currently 1 and 2. But our 2 losses were very fun and very close, so I can't complain. Woo! Queue times are short tonight. So used to them being like a minute long at this point. So 2 threats, 2 very good pump spells with what our hand is. Let's just hope this isn't a discard hand. Or discard deck. Oh, the Watery Grave tapped is pretty good for us. You know, I'm so used to it happening. I should probably play a card. We'll get a basic forest here in case there's some janky Blood Moon deck. I doubt that they are. But okay, it's Narset Lock. I'm just saying a tapped Watery Grave would be a janky type Blood Moon deck, but Astrolabe makes that viable right now. Blood Moon is not a janky card, but Watery Grave. So we know that they're a Narset Lock deck at this point. We just have to hope that they don't have removal. Going shields down to land this Blighted Agent probably wasn't the smartest move. Because now if they have Fatal Push, we just lose. But looks like they don't. So we currently have +8. Sadly, a pump spell off the top won't do it unless it's mutagenic growth. Fetch here, get this forest. Go with the Might of Old Krosa while it's in main phase 1 to give it +4/+4. Begin combat, swing with both. See if one of these lore breakers goes to block. They do. I'm kind of okay just holding up Vines as a protection spell right now. We don't need the pump. Okay, go ahead and opt. I guess with that, we'll go ahead and do the kicked. Make it so they have to have removal for this Blighted Agent. Snapback. That's a card. Should have played Pendelhaven. I thought about it. I wanted to get a fetch land down before they had Narset. Because then we could have done the Pendelhaven, give it +1/+2. Because now this Lore Breaker is just a 0/1 blocker. And you said that more than 30 seconds ago. Sorry that I wasn't paying attention. I was just deep in thought. Yep. We draw and discard. We'll discard that since there's no more fetchables for it other than a Dryad Arbor. And draw discard. So they're obviously looting as much as they can to try to find this Narset lock. Get rid of Distortion Strike. We've got the Blighted Agent. Blue-black one. Believe that's supposed to be blue-blue one because they've probably found their Narset at this point. That would be correct. And now they're going to lock us out. Assuming that we can't. And that's a Dead of Winter. Currently, Dead of Winter's only -1/-1. Second Pendelhaven there is not great for us. So if we go Glistener Elf and a Blighted Agent here, we then have Pendelhaven up to keep one of these two alive off of this Dead of Winter. And we also have a Mutagenic Growth. So we can keep them both alive off the Dead of Winter. Not terrible. Looks at the top four. Days Undoing. Snapback. Okay. Then Days Undoings. We get a card. And now they lock us out. They go ahead and go for this opt. One, two, three, four. We don't have enough to delve, which is a bit unfortunate. I mean, we swing that at the Narset. Okay. There goes one Lore Broker. Problem is, at this point, they probably have. So we don't know what's in their hand anymore. Can clear both of those. Sultai Narset lock, huh? I would say I wonder what the green's for, but we all know it's for Arrow. Yep, no chance to even play our card. Show me Snapback. Or more likely what they have is... Okay, there's an Ice Fang. It's got Death Touch. So they flash it in, they draw. Then they get to block, and we are just locked out of this game. Okay, Narset lock. We definitely want Veils. We definitely want Mystical Disputes. Arguably, we could bring in the Dismembers. Accompaniments can come out. Distortion Strike can come out. We could drop. Shave a scale up. Shave. They've got enough target removal that I want to keep in at least one spell slot. I don't think we want the second one. Because they have Snapback and Boomerang. Yes, I want to play first. Turn 1, Glistener Elf. Turn 2. Meh. It's got a lot of protection. The problem is this Dryad Arbor. We'll try it. The Dryad Arbor makes this hand really ugly, but I mean, if we lead off with the Dryad Arbor, then worst the push does is set us back to turn, makes us so we're on the draw instead of the play. Because this way we can have Glistener Elf plus hold up protection. Okay. I went down to 5 and then they had a island into Astrolabe, so we're looking pretty all right here. So there's a scale up, which makes it so if this Glistener Elf gets to stick around, it'll be pretty close to lethal. We do not swing with this Dryad Arbor because we need it for the green mana protection spell. So they could have Ice Fang here. Which is funny because Ice Fang doesn't get around Veil. There's a Force of Negation pitching a Day's Undoing instead. Uncounterable scale up. And combat hit him for 6. Land off the top is lethal. And so they pitched Day's Undoing to try to force a scale up. Dead of Winter. Sure. Land off the top is lethal. Not a land. So now we have to play around things like good old-fashioned Ice Fang Codal. Oh, there's a Lore Broker. I use packed ice. Yeah, I use packed ice at the very edge of the stuff, so that way it can. Packed ice gives it enough momentum to go through the one block that the water can't be over, whereas normal ice doesn't, and blue ice does, but you don't need the additional acceleration blue ice provides when it's only one block. So our choices here are animate, get in for one, or take the turn off and play a hierarch. By playing this hierarch, it allows us, it doesn't, they're still dead next turn unless they have a blocker. No problem, man. We each draw and discard. We'll discard a Vines of Vastwood at this point. They discarded a Dead of Winter. They've got 2 cards in hand. Ooh. Land there's pretty nice. White, animate. Now we can blossoming. Well, that'll be an Ice Fang Codal. I can't really stop it. And it'll have Death Touch. So at this point, did we board out our Distortion Strikes? We did. So we just gotta go for this trade. Yeah. Force the trade. I was hoping one of their 2 cards wasn't this Codal, but it was. So now we have to hope that their hand isn't exactly land Narset. So we have this Spell Pierce. There we go. Opponent has exactly 2 cards in hand. That's a Glistener Elf. That's not bad. Elf. Fast turn. No point to swing a 0-1 into a 1-2. We are trying to look for... I mean, there's nothing we can really get at this point. From the aspect of we don't have Distortion Strikes in our main board. They're picking up Force of Negation. Interesting choice. Do they have a draw spell? Keep. Tap our team, draw a card. Okay. They have an Ocean Thief. Because it's not our draw step. And then we draw a Mystical Dispute. Okay. I mean, we force you to have to block with your Notion Thief. Keep our dude alive. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. There goes our opponent's Notion Thief. Okay, now I have 3 cards. How about no to your Narset? And there's a Veil. Pretty good for us. Swing in with that. Exalted Trigger. Is this lore? What? Cool. Show me Force of Negation. Pitching your other card. Green, give it pro blue and can't be countered. Neat. There we go. We got there via poison counters against Narset Lock. Let's see if we can do it one more time. This time we're going to bring in the Distortion Strikes because they do play enough creatures that we want to try to get around. And Dismembers as well. We can board out a Spellskite and shave on a couple of mutagenics. Go down to 2 mutagenics. We want as many Blossoming Defenses, Vines, and Veils as possible, but we are going to shave Vines just from the aspect of it's not necessarily a pump spell at this point, it's just protection. Shave there and shave on a Groundswell. That looks good. Okay, hand's got a Blighted Agent, a Scale Up, and a Vines of Vastwood, and a Mystical Dispute, and a Dismember. Don't know when we don't keep this hand. Misty Rainforest fetches. It's a Snow-Covered Island and Astrolabe. Yep. We draw. Assuming opponent lets us go to our draw step. Okay, there's another Vines, so we can Wooded Foothills pass the turn. We don't have any turn 1 here. Not great for us, but not awful. It's a second Snow-Covered Island for a Lore Broker. Can play out this Windswept Heath, pass the turn. I want to hold up Mystical Dispute at this point. I'm not looking forward to a Narset trying to land. Polluted Delta. Now that we're in the end step, let's go get breeding pools tapped. Thank you very much for getting rid of those cats in that trench. I don't know where they were spawning in there, but thank you for that. I'm pretty sure a lot of them went into memes making a bunch of those diamond tools. Pretty sure that's where about 10,000 of them went. Oh. I saw a little pillar. Oh. True. They're going with a snapback. Okay, that's fine. I didn't even think that it's all items that can be bought. That's a very, very interesting point. At this point, we discard a vines? Yeah. Mystic Sanctuary probably puts snapback on top. Yep. Plays down an Astrolabe to draw another card. Good old sun. Okay. Land? Ooh. Gotta just make them have it. Notion Thief. How about no to that? Land? We get there, maybe. Maybe. So we know that they have snapback in hand. We have to hope that they don't have Force of Negation. Okay. Hit them for 14. There we go. We beat Sultai Narset Lock. Had to play around a snapback there. Awesome. Man, this is a very long Infect League. Most of the time, these things last maybe 1.5 hours. We're sitting at almost 2 now. But the queue times have been short. All right, we got the die roll. Let's take a play. Hand's got threat and pump. What's not to like? Don't recognize the name Return to Dust, so I don't know what they're playing. Looks like we might be able to afford to be... Okay, mono red, Goblin Guide, burn. So we definitely want to be a bit more on the passive side here. Let the burn player have a Goblin Guide trigger. What do we see? We see a scale up. I like that. We'll take drawing a scale up. Play out the Spindlehaven, pass the turn. Second mountain. Okay. Was not expecting a Goblin Arsonist. That's a fun one. We see a Groundswell. Again, I kind of like that pump spell. So we'll take the draw, get that Groundswell. Now we can go Waterlogged Grove and fetch, get a basic forest. Pay 1 life for the blue, play out this Blighted Agent, and then we have a Vines of Vastwood and Blossoming Defense for protection. They play Mountain into... Reveals a Spellskite. Not gonna block. The Spellskite's unfortunate from the aspect of it means that this scale up is only lethal through this mutagenic growth. Skewer the critics. Have to hope that they don't have any instant speed removal in hand. So now we get to go to our upkeep here. Okay, we draw that. We go with this scale up. Show me removal. No removal. These are all instant speed. Yeah. They can't hit us for 9 with only 2 red mana open. Hit our opponent for 10, Infect. There we go. So looks to be mono red burn with some goblins. As far as what we want spell skites, spell pierces can come out. Goyfs can come in. Weather the Storm can come in. We now need to shave on 4. Spells that cost life aren't great against burn, so we'll take out 2 mutagenics and shave on a Glistener Elf. They have a good amount of blockers. And shave a scale up? Yeah, shave a scale up. And let's see how we do. Hopefully these Goyfs will carry us to victory. And looks phenomenal. We've got a Goyf threat, we've got a Blighted Agent threat, and we have an Inkmoth Nexus threat. While we are lacking in pump spells, when you run 20 some odd of those, you're fine with lacking some pump spells. Okay, Mountain Guide. Mountain Goblin Champion. Interesting. Swings with a 1-2. We will go ahead and try to bait and filling our graveyard with a creature off of this Glistener Elf. That's an Eidolon. We'll go down to 16 and play out this Blighted Agent. Yes. We'll go down to 14 because Eidolon. Swings with the Eidolon. We do not block this time. Skewers. Sure, you put a sorcery into the yard. I'm fine with that. And then Arsonist hits our opponent. Okay. Not a great card right now, but not terrible. So you just hold back. They want to draw, we'll let them. Like we have much of an option, but we need animate, pump plus kick is only 9. We could make it 5 over 2 turns. And try to gain some life off of this Weather the Storm. Weather the Storm, gain 4. Possibly more if they have... if they try to do something. We'll get ourselves a forest here. Animate. Might of Old Krosa is 5. Swing for 5 Infect in the air. Whether the storm is still only gained 3. Bolts us. Weather the storm, game 9. Go up to 13. Bolt hits us. We go down to 10. They've got 3 in hand. They would need exactly bolt, bolt, bolt. And bolt knocks us down to 7. Skewers us. We go down to 4. Do they have another bolt? Nope. Make sure that's the newly controlled one that we're tapping. Animate there. Opponent's got 1 card in hand. Show it to me, burn player. Kill me. Cool. We got there. Ended 3-2 off that league. Very close match against the burn player, as always. I didn't have any removal for that Eidolon, but the Goyf early enough was strong enough to keep it at bay from swinging. Overall, Infect still feels in a pretty good spot. I'm still in love with this Goyf package of just being able to swap into a deck that doesn't concede to anything that can kill your creatures, because they're all a bunch of X1s. Weather the Storm definitely performed there. Both of the times where we could have used it, it would have gained us only enough to stay alive. It would have gained us 9 each time. So this spec, I definitely agree with this. And then the Mystical Disputes felt good when we brought them in. The Dismembers felt good when we brought them in. We didn't have any matchups where we wanted to bring in the Force of Vigors, but I don't think we want to be trying Wilts instead, because it's a lot harder for a Chalice deck to get Chalice on 4 than it is for them to go Chalice on 1, Chalice on 2. So while Wilt is arguably better in some scenarios, it's not the end of the world between Wilt and Force of Vigor. When we are running, what, 30 green spells, 31 green spells, so over half the deck we can pitch to a Force of Vigor. I think that's fine. But yeah, Infect still feels pretty strong.